my name is Ella, and guess what time it is? It's cookie time! This year I'm planning on selling 200 boxes or more. Please help supporting my troop by buying 1 boxes or maybe even 2 if you want to. My troop is planning on going on an exciting trip and helping my community. Please help support me by buying 1 box or more. Bye!
What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for January 19th, 2025. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Sunday edition of the podcast, Eagles Game Day, snowy divisional playoff day. So let's just get all the housekeeping out of the way. We got a big episode. You heard Ella. Be sure to buy the Girl Scout cookies from her because you're going to buy them anyway. The link is in the description. Gets you everything you need from there. And then be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mont on Twitter. TikTok is banned now, so I'm not on there. At Philly Jimbo on Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mont. Be sure to check out the KYW feature today, as well as the On Patterson newsletter. We're featured in there a couple days a week. So if you go, subscribe to it, it gets delivered right to your inbox. Be sure to look at my boys at the Clashing Conferences podcast, doing great things with their Sports Fan Network. That is available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. And then what a day to do some shopping at Philly Goat. They got you covered literally from head to toe. Hats, shirts, pants, shoes, you name it, they got it. Do some scrolling on their website and use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off of your order. All right, so let's get the other stuff out of the way so we can get right into this game. Good win yesterday for the Flyers, 3-1 up in Jersey. They've now won 4 of their last 5 straight games with a point. Mishkov had a goal yesterday. Tyson Forrester had 2 goals. And it was a good win against a team that they're chasing in the standings. It's about that time where we're going to start looking to see where they are in the standings and where they rank. Another, like I said, solid team effort, solid team win. They've been getting very good goaltending since the Christmas break, which is huge. They do get a couple days off here until Tuesday when they take on the Red Wings, which is another team they're battling for playoff position. So all of these games all of a sudden become very important with the Flyers, and they are putting it together here at the right time. Obligatory, I have to mention the Sixers. They lost out in Indiana, 115-102. Of course, there was no Joe, no Paul George. Tyrese Maxey had 28, and that's about it. That's the Sixers. They're in Milwaukee tonight, which should be another tough game. But again, that's it. That's the Sixers. I'm not sure what else to say. They're not a good team, especially without Joe and Paul George. Maxey can only do so much. Should be another fun one tonight against Milwaukee. We do have the Union kicking off very, very soon. They're out in Spain to kick off their friendlies, their preseason matchups today. So we'll keep you updated on that. Could be a long one, new coach, kind of a transition year for the Union, but we'll keep track of them as they begin their MLS season. All right, let's get to this game. And obviously the latest, I was trying to check as many different forecasts as possible. Does look like the snow is going to start around 11 and be light until about game time. And then the heaviest snow is going to come down during the game 3 to 6. Not sure how that's going to impact the field. I keep saying this, but during the snowball, it started earlier than the game. So that, I think, led to more snow accumulating. There is going to be snow on the field. I just don't know at this point how much of an impact it's going to have. So we'll see as that goes. But to recap yesterday's question of the day, I did ask you, are you concerned about the weather? 75% of you agree that it is going to have some sort of impact in the game. It absolutely will. I don't know, like I said, how worried we should be. The Eagles obviously are built for the snow with their physicality and the line, where the Rams defense is more predicated on their quickness, which the snow will neutralize that. I think the way the Eagles have played this year, it sort of plays perfectly into their game. Pound the ball with Saquon, short passes, and set Jalen up to be successful that way. But we'll have more on that once we get into the three keys and the prediction. One newsworthy signing, or not signing, I guess, but they did promote Nicholas Morrow up from the practice squad. Looks like he probably will be playing that special teams role that Oren Burks and Jeremiah Trotter played, depending on which one of those guys tend to get more time at linebacker. So not really earth-shattering there, but he does have experience playing with the Eagles, so we'll see how that plays out. But the big news, if the Eagles can win this game, the NFC Championship game will be in Philly next week. Washington just absolutely boat raced the Lions yesterday. Jaden Daniels is good, man. And I really kind of amplifies the need for the Eagles to kind of make this run this year, because Washington is going to be trouble for a couple years. Not that the Eagles are going to completely fall off the face of the earth, but Washington's going to be a problem. Hopefully, if the Eagles win today, it will be Washington coming to the Link for a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. All right, let's get into the three keys to victory. And these obviously are going to be a little bit different than what we normally do due to the fact of the snow. But what still remains is KeyBank, a car dealership. If you want to sponsor these, there's only a handful left for the season, so let's get into it. But I think first and foremost, the first key is the start of the game. You have to get off to a good start. Yet last week was great with the turnover on special teams. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but you cannot get off to a slow start, especially since the weather is going to progressively get worse as the game goes. You don't want to get down 10 or 14 points and be trying to play catch up in the snow. And that works for both sides of the ball, both on offense and defense. I know Vic Fangio tends to see a series or two and then kind of adjust based on that. You got to get off to a fast start here, especially with the weather. The crowd is going to be rocking. I was watching the news. People have been lined up since 11 o'clock last night to get into the game. I'm too old for that. I'll be going down in a few hours. But you got to take advantage of that and get off to a fast start, punch the Rams in the mouth, and let them know they're going to be in for a battle. And that leads us perfectly into the next key to the game. And then be physical all year since the bye. That has been your identity as a team. Just being a physical team, beating people up, wearing them down, and then pulling away in the fourth quarter. In a game where there's likely going to be a couple inches of snow on the field, you have to be physical, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Since the Rams are more of a speed-based defense, you got to just be big and impose your will on them. And like I said, you have to be physical. And that's what you've prided yourself all year on. No need to switch that up now and just go beat up the Rams. And then finally, and this goes for both offense and defense, we've said this almost every week on the key to the game. Do your job. It doesn't matter whether you're Jahan Dotson, you're Darius Slay, whoever you are, do your job. Play within yourself. Don't try to be the hero. Work as a team, especially because of the snow. On defense, you got to help out Trotter and Oren Burks, whoever's getting the playing time. Have that next man up mentality. Secondary, be solid. Keep everything in front of you like you've had. Zach Bond, this is your time. You keep price. Your price goes up every week. I fully need you to drive that price up even higher this week. And then offensively, Jalen, take advantage of running lanes if they're there. Don't try to let things, and you're really good at this, but don't let things get into your head about, oh, Jalen can't pass. Jalen can't. No, play within yourselves. Do your job. And truthfully, this should be, I don't want to say easy because it's the divisional round of the playoffs, but the Eagles are a superior team, and yes, I'll use that word, superior team to the Rams. If they play their game, they should have no problem in this game, snow or not. but get off to a fast start. You don't want to be playing catch up in the snow. Be physical on both sides of the ball, and then stay within yourself. Do your job, and we should be playing in the NFC Championship game next week. And I'm looking at the offensive line specifically. Just go out there and beat people up. I keep saying this. If you're a fan in the stadium, don't beat people up. If you're an offensive lineman on the field, beat people up. That's your PSA for this game. All right, so where are we going with the pick here? The line creeped up now to 6.5. The over-under is 42.5. I'm not even going to touch the total in this game just because I believe the snowball they scored over 42.5 points between both teams. So I'm not messing with the total, but 6.5. It creeped up. It is a pretty big line. However, as I just mentioned, the Eagles are the better team. They should be able to out-physical the Rams. I think the Cinderella story, the feel-good, let's win it for the LA Fire victims, I think that kind of runs out this week. This is going to be probably the most raucous atmosphere that the Rams have played in this season. Throw the snow on top of that, and the fact that the Eagles are just likely one of the most physical teams and we've seen them do it against two physical teams, the Ravens and the Steelers, who pride themselves on being physical. The Eagles out-physicaled them, and if they can out-physical them, no doubt in my mind that they can out-physical the Rams. I think you throw out that game that happened in LA a few weeks ago. Both teams are different then, but you have a chance to have the NFC Championship game at home. I think they take advantage of that. Give me the Eagles minus the 6.5. I think this might end up being like an 8 to 10 point win for the Eagles. It's going to be dicey in the first half, but I think as they've done all year, they will wear this team down and pull away late. So give me the Eagles minus 6. Lay it out the three keys to the game. Eagles will be playing in the NFC Championship game with a chance to go to the Super Bowl against a division rival. And as JT Todd from Coatesville said earlier this week, get a little bit of revenge there on the Commanders. But Eagles minus 6.5 is where we're going with this. All right, today, a little bit of a sour note we're going to, but the history is the history. And today we're going to go back to 2003. And on this day in 2003, it was hands down the most disappointed I've ever been at any sporting event on any level, and that was the 2002 NFC Championship game. The Buccaneers beat the Eagles 27-10, and it was the last game ever at Veterans Stadium. And when I say I've never heard the vet so quiet after a loss, usually guys are yelling, screaming, pissed off, complaining about the game. I think everybody was just in a state of shock, especially the way that game started. The game started with Brian Mitchell's long kickoff return, and then Deuce Staley taking it in. And I've never, it was the two extremes at the vet. I've never heard it so loud as I did when Deuce Staley ran that touchdown in, and then walking out, I've never heard it so quiet. But love the vet, one of my all-time favorite stadiums. Just recently have started reconnecting. If you were in Section 746, you know who. Apparently his name is Green Man. We always called him Greenhead. Dude painted his head, bald head, painted it completely green, and would lead Section 746 in the cheers and everything. Recently reconnected with him. He's a good dude. He's been at the link recently. Probably is making an appearance up in Section 220 today based on what I saw on his Facebook page. But you got to love the vet. And like I said, that when Deuce went up and scored that touchdown, somehow I ended up at the top of the stadium, and I have no idea how I got there. Didn't jump or anything. I think I just got carried up like crowd surfing, and then it just was downhill from there. The lasting images of Rondé Barber returning the pick six, Joe Jurevicius running all over the middle of the field because Levon Kirkland was just old at that point. Blaine Bishop was hurt. Just a horrible game. But on this day in 2003, Eagles lose to the Buccaneers 27-10. No doubt in my mind they would have gone out and beaten the Raiders that year in the Super Bowl. I know I got some Raiders fans out there in the audience. Sorry, guys, but the Eagles would have beaten you too. But it's a new day, And ordinarily, I probably would have gone with something different, but this is a new Philly mentality. I feel as though the cards the stars are aligning for the Eagles this year. We're going to exercise those demons and play for the NFC Championship game next week at home. All right, and then finally today, we're pulling out the big guns for this game. And we've been doing forgiveness for the new year to try to bring that good karma, release that negativity, get those bad, sour vibes. That's why I attacked this NFC Championship game against the Bucs today. And we're going to forgive and his name came up a lot this week with Kellen Moore going on interviews. One of the biggest villains, literally, in at least the past 5 years, but possibly all time, and that is Jonathon Gannon. Defensive coordinator in 21 and 22 for the Eagles, had that great record-setting D in 2022, and then interviewed for the job in Arizona the week in between the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game, which is not allowed against NFL rules. So not only did he break the rules, the Cardinals broke the rules. And then come Super Bowl Sunday against the Chiefs, he already had one foot out the door. He knew he was staying in Arizona to take over that job. And to me, it was obvious that 0 second half adjustments in that game on defense. And was he even trying? That is the thing. It's one of those things. I'm still upset. But like I said, we need to pull out the big guns today to get that karma. So we're going to forgive Jonathon Gannon today. Obviously, the NFL acknowledged that what he did was illegal. They fined the Cardinals and something with draft picks and things like that. But again, this is a big game. We need to forgive big today. And this is one of those guys I will probably never like. Never like him. He's a hate the face, punchable face, whatever you want to call it. But not going to like him. But Jonathon Gannon, I forgive you for Super Bowl 57. I forgive you for the tampering. I forgive you for having a punchable face. I don't like you, but you know what? I forgive you. You were trying to do what was best for you and your family, even though it hurt our Eagles. It's a new year. The sky is the limit this year. Let's get that negativity out. And Jonathon Gannon, I forgive you. On this day in 2003, Eagles lose to the Buccaneers 27-10 in the NFC Championship game, the last ever football game at the Vet. There are so many times, especially on days like today, that I actually miss that place. It was a dump, but it was our dump. So looking forward to seeing Green Man, even though he will always be Greenhead to me today. We're going Eagles -6.5. They will be playing in the NFC Championship game next week. 3 keys: get off to a good start, both sides of the ball. Be physical and play your game. Do your job. Stay within yourself. And this is what you've done all year. This is a staple of Nick Sirianni teams, is focusing on the game at hand. As Jalen says, the main thing is the thing. So focus on the main thing, and that today is beating the Rams, and they'll be fine. We'll have more on this game, including the recap tomorrow. Quick little programming note, might be a little bit later tomorrow, depending. With the snow, going to have to go out and shovel. I'm off of work tomorrow too, so it might be slightly later than normal, as you would see for a weekday. But we will get the recap, and as we prepare, hopefully, for the NFC Championship game. Be safe out there wherever you go. I'm ready. Let's go. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for January 19th, 2025. My name is Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a divisional round Sunday. And until next time, go Birds.